Well, everyone, welcome back. I'm really struggling to upload videos. In every video I've made so far, I keep saying I'm struggling to upload, and that is the truth. Just so many problems. I've, no joke, probably made about 6 different videos, and none of them's uploaded because they've all had issues either uploading on YouTube or in the editing process. So there might be content, but it'll probably come out a lot later than it was actually made. But today I actually had something interesting. Well, I have a bit of a collection. A collection I've been meaning to start since 2022, but didn't get my first thing until 2023. This is what I like to call the Air Project line collection. Now, this will be an unboxing of this one. This one I can't show off because I've already taken all the bits off the sprue to dry fit, and this one's already in the process of being built. So you won't see any of these. But so what are the Air Project line kits? They're made by Special Hobby. They're made from the mid to late 90s, and they were the first ever kits that the company ever made. As you can tell from this, 002, 007, 006. This means that this was their second ever kit, the first being the Blohm and Voss p.212, or the p.212. That was their first ever kit. This was their second ever kit. I will just warn you, I did break my arm, it's at a cast, so yeah, I'll have that throughout the video. Anyways, let's get on with the video. The kit is all injection molded, but quite a rare kit though, with them only appearing every so often. The kit comes with some photo etch, decals, and a vac form canopy, but we'll get on to it during the course of the video. So in the kit, as I said, if we look down, you get a plastic sprue. You get 3 in total, as well as a loose fuselage, or at least in my version I do. You get a decal sheet, but in the same bag. It's split in half, and you also get that canopy and photo etch in a singular bag, which is rather odd. This was still sealed when I purchased it, but I just had a look inside because I really wanted to see what this kit was like. So we're going to move that away, and before you ask, there are instructions. I've just not got them out of the box yet. So let's see. First sprue, let's start off with something simple enough. Let's start off with this sprue here. We're going to lower it down and get it all focused. It's got this massive seam I can now see. I didn't see that before, and the guns are a bit messy in their moulding. As you can see, they're slightly filled with excess plastic. The wheel wells aren't detailed like some of the other kit in the Air Project line, and they have this butt joint right there. You got the wheels, which, yeah, they're very ropey, as well as this bulkhead, which if we flip it round, there is a little recessed panel line running across. A bit hard to see because the sunlight's reflecting a lot off this kit. Yeah, as I said in a video which hasn't been uploaded yet, they're very similar to Pavla model kits, which when they used to make them, they're similar quality to this. There's glossy grey plastic with not much detail and butt joints. You got this landing gear leg, some wheels, and 2 halves of vertical fins. You also got another bulkhead and these landing gear doors, as well as what appears to be a yoke. 2 halves of wheels, and 1 solid wheel. So that's sprue 1. Sprue 2, on the other hand, contains the wings and the majority of the parts. You've got the massive floor, which, yeah, it's very simple, and on the other side, it's hollow. I'm guessing it's because the front landing it will go in there. You also got the mouth, which it has this pill-shaped hole. One thing that is quite nice is with the photo etch, you don't actually... The photo etch is something interesting. You don't get any control panel or anything photo etch wise. The photo etch fret you get in this kit is the same with every other Air Project Line kit. Every Air Project Line had a universal photo etch, which came with only 2 crew seat belts, some pedals, some things to do with antennas and things, and you basically just have a universal one which goes with every kit. You've got landing gear and this rear bulkhead which contains radios. You've got the turret up top, which, yeah, this thing, it would have had either a single gun or a twin gun turret, as well as the option to have the organ-like guns. They have a special phrase to it, but I can't remember. But it's basically got these vertical facing guns, so you can go under the bomber and shoot them. And it's shaped like a pipe organ. It's pretty cool. You got another bulkhead, and another bulkhead, I'm guessing again. And also the exhaust, which I can't remember if I mentioned. These, I'm not sure, I'm guessing they're to do with the engines. And then the wings, I just want to mention, these wings are massive, like, really big. Imagine like a Bristol Blenheim, a Blenheim, or imagine like another medium bomber sort of aircraft. Imagine the ME410, it's almost about that length if you turned it on its side like this, but because Fate's like that, it's technically not as long, but flip it like this, it's just as long. It's massive. You also got the other fins, which there's only 2 fins, they're just in 2 halves. You also got these, which I'm guessing are ammo crates, which will go in these little squares here. You also got that, which I think is a bomb sight. You also got chairs and 2 more, and you got another bulkhead, which means you got 2 more landing gear bits. As you can see, you got these big ejector pin marks you'll have to cut off when you get to the process of making this. Yeah, so far, not a bad model. We'll talk about its pros and cons, because I have heard various things. You also got the other set of wings, which these face down. They have a slight dihedral, I think they call it, on the wings. Yeah, there aren't actually really any panel lines, and it's got this rough texture. Not as bad as the ME262, which I have, which, before I sanded it down, it had like almost like little air bubbles. And the ME262 is much worse, since my tailpiece on it has a sort of lack of plastic you can get with Mark II kits, where it's just this big sort of dent where the plastic hasn't fully filled the mould, which is a shame, because I'm going to have to find a way to fix it. So yeah, this rough texture you can sort of see, and this big scratch across. The edges are sharp like a knife, like a serrated knife, which is something you can get with short run kits quite often. So no panel lines, so there won't be much need for any panel line wash. And last but not least, a secondary fuselage, where you can see those cutouts, but not much internally. Over here, we'll talk about the vac form canopy. One of the issues with early NPM and special hobby kits is the yellowing of the canopy. The release agent they used was also meant to stop it from getting scratched really easily. One problem, it yellows over time. Now there is a way to fix it. So if you have bought one of these kits or you're thinking about buying one, you might need to watch out because of this. Your solution costs £8 to £14. It's 12% hydrogen peroxide, I think. Basically, food grade antiseptic. I think it's peroxide. I don't want to say a really dangerous chemical by accident, but basically, I'm just going to call it food grade antiseptic so I don't mess up the name. So the food grade antiseptic, you submerge it in a jar for a few days or weeks. You're supposed to submerge it for a month, but if you're not careful, you can start to get bumps forming, and much worse, it will go entirely foggy. But all you need to do is just keep an eye on it at all times, and also be scientific and test your chemicals before you use it. Cut off a small strip and dip it in and see, because I've done something similar with acetone and I ruined a kit. So that's what you gotta be careful of. Double check it's not going to disintegrate your canopy. Overall, I thought it looked quite clear, but then you shine it in the light and you put your finger in there and you see, yeah, it's yellow. Not too bad. I've seen ones which are practically brown. And also, I built the 1078 I showed off a minute ago, and the canopy is much thinner. This one, very solid. That's the thickness of the plastic. I'm pretty happy with that. We'll get to the decals later, but I'm not going to get the photo etch out of the bag because there's not really any point. As you see, generic seatbelts. One problem, there isn't enough for this kit. Most of the Air Project Line kits are 1 or 2 seat aircraft. So a 3 seat, you're just going to have to exclude it. Or if you're lucky like me, you might have a spare one from another Air Project Line kit. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see most of this anyways. Save the seatbelts, save some money next time you buy a kit, and you won't ever have to buy photo etch again. Well, let's get on to the decals. I was going to save them for last like I usually do, but it's easier to do that than zoom in the camera later on. So you got 2 halves of swastikas, which not all kits include. You also get loads of walkway decals, which I'm not sure if they tell you where to put them, but we'll find out. You get these red 13s, some stencils, and 4 black iron crosses. So, yeah. That's the entire decal, so nothing on the back, apart from the, as I said before, this sort of double bag, which you put the vac form canopy in. And boom, that's where it was. Okay, now we've seen the whole contents of the kit, let's get on to the last thing, the really basic instructions. They come on 1 page entirely, and so you won't be needing to staple them together or worry about staples whatsoever. You get your colour call out, which gives you some RLM colours, which is much better, and they also give you the numbers of a gamma paint I've never heard of, Humbrol, Molac, never heard, Tamiya, and there isn't a grey-green for Tamiya, so I guess that's something interesting. You also get some precautions. Something which is always good to have with a short run kit is a sprue map, since bits tend to go missing a lot. And as I learnt from one of the kits I had, a Ferry Albacore by Pegasus, might in fact have a wrong half of the fuselage. You also get 2 paint schemes, which the other 2 kits I have from the Air Project line only have 1, and it's very basic. You get one which is overall grey with grey mottling, or this one with black undersides and a grey-green sort of camouflage, which is quite nice. They tell you the seat belts and the paint guides for a few smaller pieces, as well as they tell you how to bend the foot pedals. They talk about the gunner with the bomb sight as well, and the bulkhead for the landing gear. They also give you a front view. One problem with this kit is with the landing gear base, there is no hole drilled out for where the landing gear is. So study the photos carefully and decide where the landing gear is supposed to go, because you'll never know otherwise. You get this exploded diagram talking about the vac form canopy and the front. It doesn't tell you the weight, it just says add weight. So that's always a problem. It talks about instant glue for metal. Yeah, this exploded diagram isn't really going to help you. The photos I'd probably study for the landing gear is the paint guide, this one here, and maybe this one. So yeah. So overall, there are some problems with this kit, so I'll quickly talk about them. First of all, the lack of guns. You have to make those from scratch. 2, lack of detail. Understandable, since this was only the second kit by the company. 3, a bad fit of parts. Apart from the wings, the parts really don't fit very well. And 4, probably the worst part, a lack of area to add the weight. I built the 1078 while I'm currently building it, and it was really hard to find a place to fit in the weight because the plastic is so thick and there are so many things at the front. Since it's a tricycle landing gear, it is so hard to fit in any weight in the front of the nose. Either you have to do landing gear up or find a very heavy weight which is small. I don't know. You're probably going to have to sacrifice something in the build, such as the cockpit, just so you can fit in the weight if you're going to have landing gear. And also, there isn't any holes for where the landing gear is. It's quite common for a short run kit not to have anything to hold the wings together, but not the landing gear. Ugh, that's a bit of a nightmare. Let's hope you have some sort of hand drill like I do. And quickly, I'll just show off the rest of the box arts, because I think, genuinely, these are some of my favourite box arts of all time. They use a heavy... They use red, orange, pinks, purples very heavily in their kit. They're usually at night or dawn or dusk, and they always use these bright colours. As you can see, these night fighter mosquitoes being shot down by the Blohm and Voss night fighter. It's the thing that stands out, the fighter, and then the orange of the mosquito. One of my favourite box arts of all time is this HE-1078 diving in past the A-26 invaders. As you can see, it's at this really nice perspective shot where it's actually facing downwards if you look at it, going away from the sun. As you can see, the orange horizon and the afterburner just makes the plane just stand out so much. Also the orange from the guns being shot down here. It just stands out. It's such a vibrant box art with such nice colours. It's very detailed, and I don't know why they just had to make these kits so enticing to look at. The last one really isn't the best, but it's also quite good at the same time. For short run manufacturers, it's pretty close. It's not actually faded, this is the actual colour. It uses a pink sky, and there's a mosquito. Oh, not a mosquito, a meteor. You can see it dropping its fuel tanks, and the giant signature right there. The rather striking pattern also just makes your eyes constantly stare at the middle of the box, which is something that box art should really make you do. I just really like the art on these kits. Most of them are when they're getting dark, like the sky is really dark. But there's one, the Focke-Wulf P2, which does it in the daytime, and you think, how are they going to make you stare at the box this time? They also still use orange, either on the plane it's yellow, or the fire of the plane being shot down in the background. Personally, I would just buy the boxes themselves because they're so nice. I would suggest you go search up some of these Air Project Line kits. You won't find them on eBay under the title of Air Project Line because no one pays attention to this little label down here. But just stare at the box art because it's a really nice piece of art at the end of the day. So anyways, that was my unboxing of the Blohm and Voss p.215 and also showing off my Air Project Line collection so far. So anyways, hopefully I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.